Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the Cardinals Nest here on HBC Channel 25. I'm Justin Barrientos, and I'm not used to hosting this show, but I'm sitting in for Dean Beckman, who, well, he's on assignment. He's at a prior commitment. I don't know exactly.
He's on a field trip.
He's on a field trip.
And I think that when Dean gets back next week, we will be grilling him about that, and there will be a test as well. So welcome, Justin. It's great to have you on board, and I'm looking forward to probably our best show of the season since Dean isn't here.
Well, we'll try our best here at that. Donnie Nettle, the Sports Information Director at St. Mary's, here as always. And Donnie, we'll start talking about women's volleyball, which has been just consistently great all season long. Although they had a little bump in the road a couple of weeks ago, they needed a big weekend, and they got that this past weekend.
Absolutely. Two big wins over McAllister and Bethel last weekend, 3-0 against the Scots and then 3-1 against Bethel. One of the important things is that they played in a very tough tournament 2 weeks ago at North Central in Illinois, went 2-2, winning 2 regional matches, but losing 2 nationally ranked teams in their other 2 matches. So they needed a big boost going into the final weeks of the season and got it last weekend with those 2 conference wins. Now they head into the last part of their season. They've got a big match tonight as we're taping. They're at St. Catherine, and then they close out the regular season at home on Saturday against Gustavus. A very important 2 games, and hopefully when we're talking next week, we're not only talking about 2 big wins, but also a conference berth in the conference tournament, and then as well, hopefully a home conference berth, because right now a win in one of their last 2 matches will probably secure the number 4 seed, which would give them a home conference tournament match on the 4th, November the 4th. So a lot to talk about, a lot that can happen, but I know Coach Lester is pretty positive and pretty excited about where they're sitting right now, and hopefully they can just continue to play very well. A 20-8 record, an outstanding season, again, to eclipse that 20-win plateau, outstanding. You look at their 8 losses, 6 of those are to nationally ranked teams. So, when they do lose, they're losing to teams that, obviously are some of the best in the nation. So it's been a very good season, outstanding performances from a lot of different people. And, one of those people that we definitely have to single out is Brittany Cherwinka, the senior setter for the Cardinals. She'll close out her senior season at home along with 6 other seniors on Saturday against Gustavus. She eclipsed the 3,000 assist plateau on Friday against McAllister. Outstanding performance. To get 3,000 assists, she's just the 2nd person in St. Mary's history to eclipse 3,000 assists. So that's an outstanding performance for her. And then we've got two of our outstanding hitters in Sarah Gardner and Jess Mate, who just continue to climb up the career hits or career kills ladder. Sarah's right now at number 3, and Jess is at number 8 right now, soon to be 7, soon to be 6. Yeah. They just keep doing outstanding things, and there are 2 other seniors that will be closing out their careers on Saturday in terms of regular season home matches. Hopefully we'll get to see them again in the postseason play at home, but outstanding seasons for them and all of our seniors, Emily Wellhaven and Rachel Monarstelli and Lindsay Leggett as well. It's been one of those years that they've got 7 seniors that have been doing a great job, and they just continue to play very well.
You mentioned Brittany Cherwinka going over 3,000 assists in the Friday match, and then Saturday she comes back with 43 assists in the next. So I mean, she just keeps getting better and better, basically.
And the thing is when you talk to Coach Lester, there are volleyball is a very simple game. Not simple to play, but very simple to watch. In that, if you pass and receive well, and if your setter does a good job of putting the ball where your hitters need it, it is a pretty simple game. And right now, their serve receive is very good, their serving is very good, and Brittany does a great job of running their offense. And I'm sure if we talk to Sarah or to Jess or to Amy Kuyak or any of the others, Brittany puts that ball where they want it, and it makes it very easy for them to pick up some kills. You
also mentioned that they're a very good hitting team. Sarah Gardner, the MIAC Hitter of the Week for her performance this past week.
Absolutely, and Sarah's a returning All-American, and when they needed a big performance this weekend, we talked about the importance of those 2 matches. They needed a big weekend from one of their standouts, and she stepped up and really got the job done. A great honor for her to be Hitter of the Week, and obviously a well-deserved honor as well.
And then coming up, they just have 2 more regular season matches. And then we were looking at the standings before the show, and you talked about most of those losses that St. Mary's had were to nationally ranked teams. A lot of those are in the MIAC.
Absolutely. You look at the standings, and the top 3 teams in the conference right now are all nationally ranked. St. Olaf and Concordia and St. Thomas are all in the top 25 in the AVCA poll. So you're looking at that and you're saying, okay, those are teams that obviously you want to be, you want to be in that same boat with them. And you look at the standings right there, 6-3. We're one win behind Concordia. We're 2 wins behind St. Thomas and St. Olaf. So right there with the top teams in the nation. And for St. Mary's, if we can hang on to the 4th spot, that's a great performance for them for this year. And more importantly than anything, it gives them the chance to have a home conference playoff match. We play at home very well, and obviously I know the ladies and Coach Lester would love to have a home postseason match.
And of course, St. Mary's was nationally ranked for most of the season. The past couple of weeks they haven't been, but maybe with their performances this past weekend they might get back into the top 25.
Absolutely, it'd be good to see.
Yeah. Let's move on now and talk a little bit about women's soccer at St. Mary's. Also closing out the season, they lost to the College of St. Benedict 2-1, and a couple of seniors having their last matches at St. Mary's.
Absolutely. This time of year, we're always talking about seniors and their senior days, a tough 2-1 loss. But, if you look for the silver lining in a match like that, it would have to be that the one goal that St. Mary's did score was by senior Amy Civic. And, we've talked about Amy so many times on this show, an outstanding goal scorer for St. Mary's for 4 straight years. She eclipsed the 100 career point mark last week, and now for her to get her 11th goal of the season is just it's very fitting for her to close out her collegiate home season scoring a goal was great. And you had Tanya Trowbridge and Emily Friedel and Kelsey Payton, 4 seniors that were very instrumental in the season that St. Mary's has had. And it's been a very, very successful season for the Cardinals. And for them to you always look to send your seniors out on a high. And I think that despite the loss, a very, very well played game, I think that Coach Zimmerman was happy with the way they played and was happy with the way he could send his seniors off on their final home match.
And they have 2 more games left in the regular season, still have a shot at the playoffs.
Yep, they've got Augsburg, and then they've returned back on the road on Saturday at St. Thomas. So 2 very big games. They win them both. They're still going to probably need a little help maybe to get into that top 4 position. But mathematically, anything can happen. And as you can see right there, they're 5 points out. You get 3 points for a win, so there's 6 points still available. So things would need to fall their way, but obviously St. Mary's got to take care of their own business, and that is beat Augsburg and then beat St. Thomas on Saturday. Can be done, playing some very good soccer, and hopefully it will.
All right, so good luck to them. Now we move to men's soccer at St. Mary's, and it's kind of the end of a difficult season for men's soccer as they lost to St. John's 1-0.
Yeah, it was. It's been a tough road for Coach Dembeck and the Cardinals in that their biggest trouble right now is scoring goals. They've gone 5 games now without scoring a goal, and no matter how good your defense is, if you don't score any goals, you're not going to win any games. And I talked to Coach Dembeck last night. They lost a 2-0 game at Augsburg, and they played very well. I mean, the second goal that Augsburg scored was with 16 seconds left in the game, and St. Mary's had actually pulled their goalkeeper to get an extra attacker. You don't see that a lot in soccer, but he actually pulled his goalkeeper to push more people up front, and Augsburg put one in the very, very waning seconds to make it a 2-0 game. So their last 5 games have been 1-0, 1-0, 1-0, 2-0, and a 3-0 one earlier in that run. But so defensively, they're playing very good. It's just that they can't seem to get that offense going. They can't seem to catch any breaks. Coach Dembeck said last night against Augsburg they had 2 very good point-blank chances in the first half. Neither of them went in. When you're struggling to score, you need something like that to happen. You need one of those to go in so that you can kind of jumpstart yourself and get some confidence going. So it's been a bit of a struggle, but I know that Coach Dembeck is feeling pretty good about the progress that they're making and the effort that's being put forth. It's just a matter they're just not getting the wins to go for those efforts.
And they have 1 more game remaining in the regular season against St. Thomas.
Yeah, they close out their home season on Saturday against St. Thomas. And as we talk about seniors, that'll be the last collegiate game for Steve Boosie and for Ryan Rademacher and Andy Adair. So it'll be their last game, and I'm sure that those 3, if nothing else, are determined to make that final collegiate home game one to remember.
All right, cross country getting underway. They were at the Jim Drews Tori Neubauer Invitational a couple of weeks ago. They'll be wrapping up their season with the MIAC Championships coming up.
Yeah, we talk about, when we talk to Coach Barrent, they gear their whole season toward 2 weeks. This weekend with the MIAC Championships, and then the following 2 weekends from that with the NCAA Central Regional. They head to St. Paul this Saturday for the MIAC Championships, running very well. Coach Barrent's very excited about the way both teams are performing. He's getting some great individual efforts. David Feather, we talk about him every week, is doing a great job of leading the guys. And on the women's side, he's getting some good, solid performance from seniors Joanna Pace, Emily D. He's got some good freshmen that are doing very well. So right now, everything is pointing toward a very successful MIAC championships for both the men's and women's teams. And I know I talked to Coach Barrett this morning, and he's very excited about the potential that's there for some really good good individual performances as well as some solid team performances. So it's a very positive. They're heading into the championships with a very positive feel, and hopefully that'll turn into maybe climbing up that conference ladder a little bit.
Yeah, very interesting in that, as the men in their last meet kind of ran as good as they ever have, basically, and the women, they had their top runner was different in 4 of their last 5 races. Just
yeah,
incredible.
So it's nice. The guys have kind of adapted a new attitude in that they're in these things to win them, and I think a lot of that is you've got a lot of sophomores now, Peter Borash and Jake Traxler, that experienced it as freshmen, and now they want more. David Feather obviously has been doing it for 3 years, but that group now, they've decided that, we want more than just to go out and compete. We want to go out and compete and make a difference, to make a noise, and right now they're doing that. And on the women's side, I think it's just a matter of, right now they've got a lot of different people who have shown that they can step up and lead. Now they need them all to do it at the same time, and I think that right now that's kind of where Coach Barrett is feeling is it's time for them all to put it all together at the same time.
All right, now as these seasons are coming to a close, other seasons are starting. Swimming and diving just got underway.
Yeah, it's hard to believe. We finish one, we bring in another,
right,
and it never stops.
There's no pause in between.
There is no pause. So the swimming team got underway at the Augsburg Pentathlon. It's kind of a low-key meet, kind of just get their feet wet, so to speak. And St. Mary's did very well. Lucas, there, a freshman from for the women, did a very nice job, and then Robert Doyle for the men also was very competitive. And Lisa did a great job. She finished in the top 10 in 3 of the 5 events, which is really a real nice thing for a freshman to do. Great for her to get going and kind of get used to the collegiate swimming and whatnot. And they'll have another kind of low-key meet this weekend when they go up to the Tommy Relays, and then after that they'll be hitting it for real. And so they're kind of like cross country in that they'll be gearing up for 3 days in early March, and that is the MIAC Championships. So all the things that they do now are all in preparation and in training for those 3 days at the MIAC Championships. So I know Coach Lindquist doesn't really get too caught up in whether or not they're winning events or finishing first as a team. It's in preparation for those 3 days at the MIAC Championships.
Okay, just a couple minutes left in this segment. Talk a little bit about the start of the season for the women's hockey team.
Yeah, the Cardinals kick off their season this weekend on the road. They head to Marion on Friday, which is in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, and then they go to St. Norbert on Saturday. It should be a very interesting time for them. The Cardinals obviously return a lot of firepower from last year. They were a conference tournament team a year ago, and I know, talking to Coach Manor, that they expect to be the same type of a team this year, if not even better. And when you look at that team and you look at the people that they're returning, you're returning an all-conference goalkeeper in Kay Collier, you're returning an all-conference forward in Stevie Feek, and you're returning an all-conference defenseman in Diana Stewart. So all facets of the game, they've got an all-conference performer. Offensively, they return virtually their entire lineup of top scorers, including Nicole Olsen, who had a real breakout year last year as a sophomore. And defensively, you got Dana Cruiser to go along with Diana Stewart. And so the pieces are all there for Coach Manor. It's just a matter now of making sure that everything is clicking on all cylinders. And it'll be a very good opening weekend for them, kind of give Coach Manor an idea of what he really has to look at, because there are a number of new faces on that roster. So it'll be interesting to see how they do.
You just touched on that. They have a lot of experience, but they have 16 freshmen on the roster, which is more than their juniors, seniors, and sophomores combined.
Absolutely. And so what that really means is there's a lot of work for the upperclassmen in terms of teaching, in terms of leading, because there are a lot of people that are going to be doing this for the first time. And I think that's one of the things that Coach Manor is really looking forward to with this first weekend is let's get those freshmen on the ice, let's get their feet wet, let's get them used to playing at the collegiate level, because it's a lot different than high school hockey. So we'll use these as a learning experience, give us a little bit of a measuring stick to where we're at, and then they'll go from there, because the next weekend they play UW Eau Claire for 2 games, and that's another very tough NCHA team, and then after that they open conference play. So there's not a lot of time to relax. They have to get ready and go. So he'll use these first 2 weekends as kind of a good tune-up as they get ready for the conference play or conference season.
All right, and then one other season that's starting is men's hockey, and we're actually going to take a break here on Cardinals Nest. When we come back, we'll talk with men's hockey coach Bill Moore and one of his players, Vince Unklesbay, right after this.
Hey, I'm Buddha, inviting you to join me for a brand new show here on HBC TV 25 called Real Attractions. We'll show you trailers from the latest movies to hit theaters and also what's being released on DVD that week. Plus, you have a chance to win free movies by registering at my.hbci.com/realattractions. But you gotta watch to win. So check out Real Attractions here on HBC TV 25, hosted by yours truly, which is why we didn't call it Real Attractive.
This is our Saturday.
Our pride.
Our history.
This is our axe. No, this is our axe.
This is our true color.
This is our halftime.
This is our tradition.
Our nation.
This is our time.
Our big house.
This is Minnesota football.
Wouldn't it be nice if there was a mobile phone company where you could actually get great customer service? Well, the wait is over. Full mobile phone service is now available at HBC. With plans starting as low as $40 a month on the nation's largest coverage map, HBC Mobile has a plan for everyone. Individual, family, data, they're all available. And they all come with the personal customer service you've come to expect from HBC. Stop in today at 58 Johnson Street, Winona to see how you can get a free phone. HBC Mobile. Service you can trust.
And welcome back to the Cardinals Nest here on HBC Channel 25. As promised, we'll talk men's hockey now. This is Donnie's favorite time of the season, hockey season getting underway, and we'll talk with head coach Bill Moore and Vince Unklesbay. Coach Moore, we'll start with you. Last season, kind of a difficult season, a 123-1 record, but I know that your focus this year is to forget about that and move on to this season.
Yeah, I think one of the things that we've done, we've worked very hard in the off season to do a great deal of recruiting. We've got a number of freshmen in that are going to be impact type players to kind of surround the tremendous returners that we do have, and I don't think we could be more excited if we tried.
Vince, talk a little bit before we dive into Cardinal hockey. Obviously, there probably aren't too many people that are watching this that know a lot about you. Talk a little bit about how you got involved in hockey, how you ended up at St. Mary's, where you're from. Just give us a little brief background on yourself.
All right, well, I'm from Maplewood, Minnesota, just east of the cities a little bit, and I guess I grew up playing hockey. I don't know if I really had a choice. I had two older brothers and an older sister, and my father, they all played hockey, so ever since I can remember, I didn't really have a choice. My brothers would drag me out on the rink, so I was playing hockey since a little kid, so it's kind of in my blood. And then I guess coming to St. Mary's, I played junior hockey for 2 years, and I didn't really know where I wanted to go after that. And my whole life I've gone to a small school, and so St. Mary's is a relatively small university, and they have a rink on campus, and everybody that I would speak to said that it was a great school, so I guess it was just a simple choice to come to St. Mary's.
I talked to Coach Moore a little bit, and one of the first things he stressed to me was last year was last year. That's in the past. We're not even thinking about that. We're focusing on this year. As a player who played on the team last year, how are you guys approaching this season?
I guess not a whole lot of difference. I mean, last year it was a bad record, but there were numerous games where we were winning going into the third period, and we ended up losing by 1 or 2 goals. So I think we're just going to work harder, a lot harder this year, try to score some more goals, and got a lot of good freshman kids who came in, and hopefully they can help put some more goals in, and we've got some solid defensemen coming in. So I think just keep doing what we're doing, and we have a lot of good players to add to what we have going. So
obviously, when we talked about women's hockey, we talked about this weekend being a nice chance for them to get their feet wet and whatnot. You guys are taking part in the MIAC Showcase this weekend in Blaine. How important are these games to you, not only because they're your first 2 games, but also that they're games against conference opponents?
Well, I think they're very important because, one, we need to really get a measuring stick as to where we're at. We need to get the younger guys engraved into MIAC hockey, and we need to start building some confidence and getting the ball rolling on the correct side of the hill, because once that ball gets rolling, the snowball is going to get bigger and bigger, and hopefully that momentum will carry us on throughout the season.
You know, I think Vince brought up a really good point, and I know it was 7 games that you guys led going into the third period. And, you know, if you look at that, you know, a break here or there, that 123 in one season is a completely different year. I mean, I think that there's a little bit of, you know, the smoke and mirrors in terms of that record. You guys are actually, you know, heading into this year probably a little better than people might think.
We hope so. You know, we definitely want to try to catch some people by surprise. We'll take any advantage we can get, but I don't think we're going to catch ourselves by surprise, because I think expectations in the locker room, expectations placed on the entire team by our great leading returners, and they are some tremendous young men. I think that we are not going to surprise ourselves, but we're hoping to surprise others.
Vince, one of the things that you know, has kind of been, I don't know if I want to say thrust upon you, but obviously you're one of the team captains this year, so your role may be a little different this year than it was last year. How are you approaching that?
I don't know. I guess just I'd like to try to lead by example. You know, I'm not going to go out there and score a ton of goals. I'm just going to try to work my hardest, put as many points up as I can, and hopefully other guys will do the same, work hard, and try to get scoring from every guy on the team, or all the lines. So I guess just try to lead by example.
And I guess just to echo that real quick, I mean, Vince is a tremendous leader, and whether it be in the classroom, where he's a returning academic all-conference player and one of the hardest working, most respected players on our team, everybody will follow him. And when Vince doesn't say a ton, but when he does, everybody listens.
And we're not going to just single Vince out, since you do have 3 other captains.
Yep.
I'm guessing that Tom Healy, the other captain, is probably the more vocal of the 2 of you.
Yeah.
And then can I guess that maybe Nate Peterson's a little more vocal than Ben Kitzmiller as your 2 alternate captains?
Yeah, definitely. Tom and Nate always have something to say. So they're good vocal leaders in the locker room. Great guys.
Talk a little bit, Coach. When we were talking off camera, one of the important things about rebuilding or building a good solid team is starting in the back, and that's defensively. You return honorable mention all-conference goalie in Jason Horstman, and Andy Scheib is back as well. Those 2 played very well last year. You've got some solid leadership. We talked about Ben Kitzmiller and Nate Peterson, and Blake Zamatis is back, and Bo Braun is back. So defensively, you seem to have some pretty solid footing there.
Well, and I think we weren't bad defensively last year. I think if you look, our biggest issue was the fact that our leading scorer only had 5 goals in 25 games, and there isn't a team in the world that's going to win when your leading goal scorer gets only 5 goals. So one of our major goals in recruiting was to find some goal scorers, and we recruited a little bit over 200 points out of the junior leagues last year of kids that made our varsity. So we're hoping that those points will carry over from the junior leagues into college hockey. And you know, we also had some unlucky situations. Tommy Healy didn't play a game all year where he was full strength, and he's a captain and a major role player. Jimmy Becker didn't get to play the whole season last year. So we have a lot of things that went against us, but again, that's over and done with, and we're very, very excited about the way things are going, and everybody's healthy, and we're going the right direction right now.
Coach, you had the red-white game last weekend. Tell us what you saw in your team from that game.
The biggest thing I saw and smiled about was 9 goals. One team beat the other 5-4, and we saw some great play out of our forwards to control the puck. We just put too much pressure on our defensemen last year. We didn't control the puck enough in the defense and the offensive end, and that's what we were looking for, and we saw a lot of what we were hoping for.
Vince, what's the biggest difference in the locker room between last year and this year?
I'd have to say the biggest difference would be, it seems like immediately right from the get-go, everybody kind of came together. And last year it seemed like a couple guys were off just doing their own thing, different groups of people, but it seems like this year everybody's acting as a whole and kind of all pulling in the same direction. So hopefully that'll lead to success this year.
Coach, I know one of the things that comes out right about this time of the year will be the MIAC coaches poll. How do you look at the conference this year? What who are the teams to beat? What should people be looking for?
Well, I think that Augsburg will be very good. They have not, they didn't graduate hardly any of their players, and they were a playoff team last year. And you got to respect Gustavus. They've been in the quarterfinals of the national tournament the last 2 years in a row, so they'll be tough as usual. St. Thomas is always tough. My guess is that there will be somewhere between 3 and 4 teams in our conference that eventually will be rated in the top 15 in the country. We're hoping that we can sneak into there sometime during the year.
Taking a look at your schedule, you have several home games coming up right after you open the season. How important is it to get off to a good start in front of your home crowd?
It's going to be awesome. I mean, last year, again, one of the things that went against us is we only played 1 game at home in our first 11. This year we got 5 home games in a row to start the conference season out, as well as the non-conference season once we get through the showcase this weekend. So we're very excited. We hope that we can put together some momentum where our fans get involved and we can have a lively rink. If the red-white is any indication of our fan support, we probably had more fans at the red-white game than we had at any game last year. So it was tremendous, and we hope to put a good product on the ice so that they keep coming.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us here today, and good luck this season.
Thanks for having us.
St. Mary's men's hockey starts October 30th against Augsburg. We will take a break here on the Cardinals Nest, and when we come back, we will talk about some non-sporting event activities going on at St. Mary's.
Sometimes life isn't about doing the popular thing or even the cost-effective thing. Many times it's simply about doing the right thing. When HBC did not receive the grant needed to construct a network in Minneaska, we were disappointed. But we immediately went to the drawing board, and we are going to be delivering what we promised. Sometimes it's all about making the right decision. So welcome, Minneaska.
And welcome back to the Cardinals Nest here on HBC Channel 25. Time now to talk about a couple of things that are going on at St. Mary's non-athletically. We'll start out by talking about Chris Farrell, who is the economics editor for Marketplace Money, and he will be speaking to audiences about the new frugality at St. Mary's on November 11th. The presentation is scheduled to begin at 4 p.m. in the Page Theater. It's free and open to the public. He'll discuss the highlights of his latest book, The New Frugality, How to Consume Less, Save More, and Live Better. That'll be followed by a question and answer period and a book signing in the lobby of the Performance Center. St. Mary's is also going to be offering a free non-credit introduction to basic conversational Chinese Mandarin beginning on November 1st. The class will be taught by Lin Chao, a Taiwan native who's a student in the SMU's Master of the Arts in International Business. The class is open to the first 20 people who register online and attend the first session, and if necessary, there will be a waiting list. You see the place to register online for that one. It'll be held every Monday night from 6:30 till 9 for 6 weeks, and St. Mary's will provide access to textbook materials. The Page Series presents the Houston Ballet 2, one of America's most sought-after young ballet companies, 7:30 Thursday, November 4th in the Page Theater. Tickets are $25 for adults, $20 for students and seniors. You can call the box office or visit pagetheater.org for more information about that. And of course, it's Halloween, so we have the SMU Walk of Horrors still going on.
Yeah, they have this weekend. They'll close that off, and Halloween night will be their last day there. I just got a text from Dean. He apologized for not being here and hopes that he has an excused absence. Not sure. We'll have to decide. We'll watch the tape, Dean, and we'll just see how good Justin did.
Well, it was fun being on here in the Cardinals Nest. Thank you, Donnie, for having me on here, and we hope to see you next week along with Dean Beckman on the Cardinals Nest.